Put down your TV remote, turn off the Leafs game. We've got some racing to get to tonight. Welcome back to Bedane TV and Tim's Corner Motorsports. Round number 2 of the TCM Weekly iRacing series, but most importantly, it's Triple Crown Race number 1, brought to you by TCM Live, back here at the virtual Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway in Music City, USA, Tennessee. I'm Dylan Langille from the real Riverside International Speedway in Nova Scotia. Back up here in the booth with my good bye from the Rock Bye. It's Mike James from Eastbound Park here. What's up, my friend? Bye.
That was the most horrible Newfoundland accent I've ever heard, Dylan. And if I was next to you, you would get a shot in the teeth. But anyways, I'm excited, man. It's week number 2 here at Nashville. You know, the big 6/10, 18-degree bank here. We've seen some action in turn number 1 throughout the first couple of heat races last week. So should be interesting to see if they've gotten themselves seated properly after leaving Oxford. So we'll see if there's some action in turn 1 tonight.
Last Wednesday, we saw a photo finish for the win. Mike Alexander got the big W, but Brett Suggs, the lone American, has the point lead because he had a better starting position. And we allocate that with the TCM Weekly Racing Series. We take a look at who qualified where. And in fact, qualifying just wrapped up. And Dustin Mumbercat, Mike, has the pole for the race. So he's going to be moving on to our 75-lap main event, along with Rational Richard Drake, Brett Suggs, Mike Alexander, Brandon Campbell, Mike Rhino, Jason Goss, and Brad Hayes. So we take the top 8 in qualifying. We are going to have 4 12-lap heat races, taking the top 3 from each. And then we're going to have 2 LCQ races taking the top 3 as well. So we'll get fired up here and get the drivers all warmed up. You may be wondering, what's a Triple Crown race? Well, a little extra incentive for these drivers, kind of a throwback to what the Pro Stock Tour did here in the Maritimes in the old CarQuest days. The top 3 from these Triple Crown races will get a cash bonus at the end of the season. Basically, if you somehow finish in the top 3 during these races, you can win $30. You can get a $20 bonus if you sweep. So, long story short, Mike, these drivers are going for a little extra cash tonight.
Some big cash on the line for the Triple Crown, but we are set for some heat races. We're going to take those 8 drivers that you called out and push them off to the left. These drivers now are going to be battling for the main event. We've seen some big competitors last week not make the main event. Ashton Tucker being one of them, but Keith McClellan as well. But we are gritting for heat race number 1. 12 laps going to be on the board, and Tenton Woolridge will get the pole here in the 56, and he'll have Gilliland 410 on the outside in the 113. I butchered that one.
Guillaume 410?
Sure.
He's starting second. Hey, you know what? I can't speak Newfoundlander. You can't speak Quebec, apparently.
No, sir. Rick Arabeau will be on the inside of row number 2 to 61. Keith McClellan, Daddy Mack in the Bud Light machine to the outside in position number 4.
Travis Roma lining up 5th. Johnny Fitzpatrick, keep an eye on him, folks. He's always a sleeper in these races. He's going to be starting 6th. Derek Gates, John Byron, Tony Wright, Martin Landry, and the lone lady from Newfoundland, Chantal Pottle, at the back end of this field. So again, it's a 12-lap heat race. Top 3 are moving on. Last time we were here, Mike, these heat races, they took a little while. There was a couple of wrecks, but I think these drivers were really figuring out Nashville because it's completely different from what we were racing at Oxford.
Well, we had a lot of incidents on lap number 1 in turn 1, so we'll be interested to see on this heat race to see if they can get it going. But some big wrecks and some competitors such as, like we said, Keith McCullum, Ashton Tucker, and there was a couple other peppered in there that did not make the big show. So they're down a lot of points here at Nashville for the season. So a lot of these guys are going to be trying to get on the hammer here early, but we'll see what happens here. 12 laps going to be on the board. And we are set to go. We are green, and it's all Tanton Woolridge to the front, and Gilliland Fortin hot on the trail. I'm going to call him 40.
Gilliland's not racing here. Guillaume is going on the inside. Guillaume Fortin underneath the 56 car, Tanton Woolridge. Mike, I'm actually not too familiar with Fortin, so I don't know their backstory. I don't know where they're from. I have to assume they're Canadian. Little shot there from the 13, and here comes Mac Daddy underneath Ricky Arbo, and he's a little crooked, and that's the thing you're going to see at a turn 2, especially with these super late models. They get a little squirrely. Tim was mentioning to me there's a new iRacing system where it's to basically warm up the tires. It's a little different now, where you don't necessarily have to burn some rubber on pit road, but the thing is with these cooler tires, it's going to be hard finding grip until it really starts to warm up a few laps in.
Yeah, for sure. And, this is such a steady progression here in iRacing. Every couple of months you see so many different new updates, new tweaks, and, it's pretty amazing what we're seeing here in the iRacing simulator. So Big Dog's taking part in this, and I was talking to a few Pinty drivers just last night, and some of those guys are cracking at it as well. So we're also looking in now as the 38 does not want to be in that 4th position. He's going to come on full attack on the 30 machine of Keith McClellan. He's got the bottom, a little touch and go there, a little scrub to the back or the side there of the 30, and exchange a little yellow on that blue 30.
Well, the cool thing, Mike, with iRacing and what I'm discovering, even as an announcer, it's practice. It's nice to warm up. It's nice to kind of get in the rhythm and stay in the rhythm the entire year. And that's important for a driver. We're getting close to March here, and that means there's only about 2.5 months until racing season kicks off. We already got a race done here in Nova Scotia, Mike. We had a winter race up in Sydney, Cape Breton last weekend. But drivers are going to be going for the first races in the middle of May. You want to be nice and sharp, and iRacing is a great tool for that. And right now, Guillaume Fortin is in front of Tanton Woolridge with Travis Roma moving his way up to 3rd with Keith McClellan right behind. Mac Daddy's going to have to throw some hammer on that gas, or else he's going to have to go into the Ponzi race.
Yeah, I think this heat race number 1 is going to be one to, some excitement coming down the pipe. You got Ricky Arbo back there in 5th position trying to stay within the pack, but now we have Tanton Woolridge coming under fire now, and he's going to go side by side with the 113. They are vying for the lead here, and it looks like he may have the advantage to the bottom as Tanton Woolridge takes over this heat race. But look at Travis Roma dropping to the bottom with the crossover, and he's going to not want to be in that 3rd position, and he wants some comfort because he knows with the final couple of laps here, 3 laps to go, that 30 of Keith McClellan not making the show in week number 1 is going to come on hard. And here he comes as Travis Roma, the 113, Guillaume Fortin, washes up the track and opens the door for the 30 of Keith McClellan. But also, here comes Ricky Arbo. These final 2 laps are going to be hot.
Something is up with the 13 car, 410. He went from the lead almost now to 5th. He has fallen back considerably here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. 1 more to go for young Tanton Woolridge getting around the 13 car. He motors into turn 3 and 4. Travis Roma in 2nd. Keith McClellan will round out the top 3, and those drivers will advance to the 75-lap feature tonight. Guillaume Fortin, I don't know what happened to them, but they're going to have to go into Consi race, a hooligan race, along with Ricky Arbo, Derek Gates, John Byron, Johnny Fitzpatrick, Chantal Pottle, and Tony Wright. So Tanton Woolridge gets the first checkered flag of the evening.
Well, that sets up a stellar LCQ. We've seen some big ones in week number 1, and look at the big names: John Fitzpatrick, Ricky Arbo, Guillaume Fortin, and Derek Gates, and so many are going to be following in that LCQ. And some of these guys are not going to make the big show here tonight, and we're going to see some upsets once again in week number 2.
Gonna be a feisty night, we'll call it that. It is the Triple Crown night number 1. Couple of extra fun races for a little extra money, if you will. So this is going to be the first Triple Crown race. The second Triple Crown race will be coming up on March 10th. And then March 31st, the last round before the championship night, will be Triple Crown round number 3. So again, just a little extra fun here for the drivers as we settle into another season of iRacing. Speaking of the second season, I mentioned Brett Suggs is the point leader. 3-point advantage over Mike Alexander, Danny Chisholm in third, Travis Roma, who we just saw make the final with that top podium position. He's fourth in the championship right now, and tied for fifth, Jason Goss and Chris Roma. But that's really going to shake up tonight, I imagine. Speaking of Chris Roma, he's starting first in heat race number 2. On his outside is the number 93 car of Justin Robichaud.
On the inside of row number 2, Dave Cassidy in the 13. He's been super hot in the iRacing Simulator of recent. He'll have the 89 of Conrad Murphy to the outside.
New Brunswick's Ryan Messer starting 5th in the number 1. Campbell Delaney in the 9 car starting 6th. Trevor Smith, Taylor Layton, Scott Alexander, Cadence Frizzell, and Danny Chisholm. He's a little further back in his heat race, Mike, but he is at the top 2 of the top 3, of our point standings. He had a top podium finish last time we were here. So Danny Boy's got his work cut out for him. Got to try and charge through this field here as we're getting ready to fire off.
Old pace truck is officially off. We are set to go green, green, green with Chris Roma firing. But look at this. Ryan Messer gets kind of caught behind Cassidy there, and they're going to have to work. But it's going to be interesting on this heat race.
Conrad Murphy.
We got action up in the corner. They are not going to throw the green. If it's a single incident, we've talked to the producers earlier, they are going to keep it green and under time here. So cautions will be limited here in the heat races, but unfortunately for Conrad Murphy, he's got a lot of work to happen to go ahead through the field here. But Danny Chisholm starts to the back of the field, already working up to 5th position. He's the man on the move. Keep an eye on that 87 of Chisholm.
Yeah, Conrad was on the outside of turn 1 and 2. Looks like he got a little loose and had made some contact with another car. And that just means disaster, unfortunately, for the 89. So they're going to have to really rely on that LCQ race to try and make the 75-lap feature. Chris Roma, big lead in front of Justin Robichaud. Campbell Delaney, young driver in the number 9 car. He is in 3rd currently, with Trevor Smith, the son of the Oval Outlaw, in 4th. And looks like things are starting to heat up with Danny Chisholm making another pass. And here comes Danny Chisholm. Now he's in 4th, and he's catching up to Campbell Delaney.
Well, like we talked about earlier, not making the show, Ryan Messer is currently in 7th, and he's had some troubles here in the qualifiers. And, if he doesn't get on in here with 7 to go here, he could face himself into an LCQ as well. But right now, the storyboard is Danny Chisholm coming from all the way from the back of the pack from the 11th position. Now fighting to get into the top 3. We are taking the top 3 for the main event here tonight. And Delaney is under fire as Chisholm drops to the bottom. He's going to try to make the move here, but Delaney fighting back here. He does manage to cross over in front of Chisholm, but Chisholm now looking all the way up to the top and dipping down here, looking for some momentum. And here it is here again. He's crossing over to the bottom. Side by side they go as well. The 9 of Delaney trying to hang on here for the top 3.
Great fight for 3rd position right now. See, Campbell Delaney made a little contact.
And I think we lost Dylan with some internet issues there, but hopefully he can get back. Chisholm does pick up that spot on Delaney. He is now in the top 3, trying to catch up now to our leaders as Chris Roma in the 83 and the 93 of Justin Robichaud kind of checked out, now having about a 2.5 over Chisholm as Chisholm tries to throw out the reel and come up from all the way from the back. And by with 2 laps to go here, it's all Chris Roma in the 83 as he comes up on some lap traffic. That is Scott Alexander in the 55. But I think time is not on the hands for the rest of the field as Chisholm, Robichaux, and Roma looking pretty safe here with White Silk coming out just in a moment. Do we have Dylan?
I think you got me. I think my internet's just it's not good tonight. So I apologize if it's dropping in and out. I can't really blame the girlfriend. I don't think she's watching Netflix right now. But anyways, checkered flag is out for the 83 car of Chris Roma. Robichaux, Danny Chisholm will make the 75 lap feature coming up. I think, we got Conrad Murphy on his lid again. In that move, my internet stopped working.
Your wife is watching 90210.
Maybe.
Well, that is that. Chris Roma will move on to the big show. Justin Robichaux and Danny Chisholm. What a show from the 87 of Danny Chisholm. Come from all the way from the back of the pack, but we're getting set for heat race number 3. Not as much action in turn 1 as week number 1. I guess the guys put in the practice time and are now getting settled in here in Nashville. But we are getting set, and look at that. That's one of the competitors that did not make the big show last week. It's Ashton Tucker in the O2. He's going to be on the outside of row number 1. But the 80 of Cody Moorcraft will get the pole here in heat race number 3.
Josh Langille in the 18 starting 3rd. Craig Tully in the number 5 starting on Langille's outside in 4th.
And inside of row number 3, Daniel Vitch in the 29. He'll have Caden Tufts in the 88 to the outside.
Wade Craswell in the 67 starting 7th. Mark Williams in the 42 starting 8th. Aaron Hebb from the South Shore starting in the 66 car at 9th. Jake Scribbins in the 4 and Craig Kenny will start 11th in the 90 in heat race number 3 for round number 2 of the TCM Weekly iRacing Series. Tonight it's Triple Crown race number 1, brought to you by TCM Live. You may have been watching on TCM and Vidane TV on Monday. Tim Terry, Denver Matchett, myself got to chat with a few great drivers and great promoters here in the Maritimes. Craig Slomwhite, Richard Salter, Robbie McLean from Oysterbed Speedway. It was a lot of fun. And coming up this Monday, young Braden Langille. No relation to this Langille or Josh Langille, Mike, but Braden Langille's a great guy, great young driver. Scotia joining Tim in Denver to chat about racing for 2021 coming up on Monday.
Yeah, that's great. The new TCM weekly talk show. That's if you haven't tuned in, tune in this Monday. We had the first episode hit off with I believe it was Sean Slomwhite was the first guest, but lots of activity on the TCM Live. But we are set to go here in heat race number 3. Cody Moorcraft with Ashton Tucker to the outside, but we got contact. That's the 18, Josh Langille. He's going to come around and, oh, baby, the 4 of Jake Scrivens doing the 360 there. That's going to bring out the caution as a couple of cars were involved, and they're going to reset this. But that's going to bring in our friend Paul Showtime Strickland. We haven't talked to him all night. We'll see what he has coming up.
Big bada boom. Taking a look here at the Vidane.shop instant replay. Be sure to check that out. Shoot on Vidane.shop in your internet browser there. And we got dad hats, t-shirts, hooded sweatshirts, all sorts of Vidane TV swag. And we're going to give it to you in slow motion. Focus in on that 18 car Langille. You can see he's running second on the inside line there. Gives the bump to the 80. Gives him another little bit of a shot there. And it just looks like he gets a little bit of a shot from the 29 behind him. There you see Caden Tufts getting spun around as well. There's a big old flip there from the number 4. Who is that in the 4 car? That's going to be Jake Scrivens. Definitely a 10 out of 10 for landing. I'll give him an 8 out of 10 for style points on that. And you know what? That's just one of those wrecks where we're going to have to take a look at the in-car footage. And we'll ride on board here with the number 4
Screenshot.
Yeah, taking a big old shot here and see if we can back this up into the right spot if we can. If technology wants to work with me and not against me, here we go. There's the car getting loose, the 18 getting spun around. Man, nowhere to go. You can't shoot down low. Tufts is there, so you gotta go with the 18.
Bam!
Look at that. Perfect landing. Sticks it. And then gets 2 tires up off. Man, that is a wild ride for that number 4 car. We'll be seeing him in the LCQ race for sure.
Almost like the Dukes of Hazzard there.
Just about, yeah.
Boss Hog.
You know, Old boss hog and Roscoe B. Coltrane. Stop them Duke boys.
Well, let's go put Ashton Tucker to the top of the board. He's looking not to want to get into that LCQ as he had some hard luck in week number 1. But Tully will be on the outside. Cody Moorcraft now moving back to row number 2 with Daniel Vitch to the outside of 2. Mark Williams, Wade Craswell in row 3. Aaron Hebb and Caden Tufts in 4. Craig Kenny, Josh Langille, Jake Scrivens sitting on pit road right now. A lot of damage, Dylan.
A lot of damage. Ashton, our champion from the Oxford Series for TCM Weekly iRacing, didn't make the 100-lap kickoff race, so he's hoping to have a good heat race tonight. I don't know what was going on with him. Just didn't make the show, wasn't fast enough in qualifying, and just did not make it, plain and simple. But we'll see if we can do that tonight. They stack up a little bit with Ashton Tucker hammering the gas down the front stretch. Green flag is out. Tully in that number 5 car. Oh, we got a spinner in the back, a little contact. I think Mark Williams may have got into another car, and I don't think that's triggered a caution yet. So no, we're still green flag racing. Caution. I think no caution. So there's the flag man. So we'll have to bring in Paul to see what happened. I saw a little contact. It looks like maybe Josh Langille got turned around again. The replay.
Yeah, we'll pull up the Verdane.shop instant replay here. And
the time machine.
The time machine. We'll see what went down here, and we'll back up the tapes. And you see the 4-car comes off of pit road. Doesn't look like he was involved. See if watch through the tapes, find that wreck, and we'll give it to you in real time here as soon as we find it. And looks like the 88, or check that, the 80 and the 29 may very well be involved here again. And we can see Danny Vitch getting into the back of the 80. Just a little bit of a bump. We'll give it to you here in real time there. You can see, Mark Williams gets into the back of the 80. And the 29 had nowhere really to go. The 66 gives him a little bit of a shot as well. But actually looks like they keep everything gathered up. So just a quick finger on that caution button, but doesn't look like anybody spun around or anything like that, but it'll definitely look like it could have been a whole lot worse than it was.
Oh, that's for sure. I mean, whenever you see a car spinning down the field, we just saw that with the 18 car not that long ago. So Josh Langille, that was a real race car. Man, he got to spend a lot of time in the shop to try and bang out the dents with his brother, but hey, it's iRacing. That's all good. The car will be good if he makes the show tonight, whether he's got to do a hooligan race or not. So there will be one more heat coming up, and then we have 2 25-lap last chance qualifiers for the final 6 positions, and then we go 75 laps here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway.
Hooligan race.
Hooligan last chance for romance race.
Well, Ashton Tucker spending a lot of time under yellow on the heat race, so this might be a little bit of an advantage for making the big show here as they come around. Lights are out on the Page truck, so that's going to leave 3 laps on the board as they come across here. Down the turn 1 and 2 and down the back stretch, and we're going to be back to race it.
No, I'm here. I think Mike's having internet problems now on the Rock. What is going on here tonight? So let's try and settle this out here with a couple laps to go. So, man, I'll tell you what, the internet machine's not being too kind to the announcers here. So I apologize if Mike and myself kind of fade in and out. I know my buddy Pat Healy just messaged saying, "Hey, what's going on? You guys aren't talking sometimes here." But hey, you know what? It's the tech gremlins. Gonna come to a green-white checkered here, boys. So we're gonna try and get this race fired off here with Ashton Tucker in the 0-2 on the front row with the number 5 of Craig Tully and Wade Craswell in the 67. He's in the final transfer spot, and he's got a pretty banged-up Caden Tufts on the top side of him. Let's see what happens with a 2 lap to go. Shootout, Mike, if you're there, take her home.
Well, Ashton Tucker kind of holding him back a little bit, a little beating and banging there. Daniel Vitch trying to make it work here. Now drops to the bottom here, but we got contact. Caden Tufts gets washed up the track. Little contact with the 67 Wade Craswell, and they're wrecking behind. They're going to throw the caution one more time on this. This is a wild heat race here. Ashton Tucker getting a lot of yellow flag laps here. And you see the 88 spinning around here. That's going to bring in Paul Showtime Strickland to take us back in time to have a peek.
Yeah, taking a look at the tape as we rewind it here. Almost looks like Caden Tuff wrecked for about half a lap. Got a little bit of help, as we can see here. You can see he shoots down low. Craswell was there. He gets a shot from the 67 car. Almost saves it, overcorrects it just a little bit. Gets T-boned by the 66. Big shot there. 90 with nowhere to go. He gets shot up into the outside wall. And there you can see the 88 at Tuff's. Lots of damage in the front end of that race car. Lots of damage to the 66 as well. And as he tried to gather it back up, just kind of overcorrected himself and spun around again. So there you can see, kind of resets that thing, gets the tow truck a shout, and gets him down on pit road. So we'll be seeing him in the last chance for romance for sure.
I don't know about romance, but we'll see. It's going to be a green-white checker finish here. The time is, they got a clock on this heat race, so this may be the conclusion as they're calling final lap here. I believe this is going to finish under caution, Dylan.
Yeah, there's a little time limit, so again, we got to finish this stuff up here. We can't wait all night. So it looks like then it will be Ashton Tucker, Craig Tully, and Daniel Vitch going to the 75 lap feature tonight, which is pretty neat.
Pretty neat. I don't know what's going on. The lights are on the pace car. Yeah, I believe we're going to finish under caution here. Tucker finally gets a shot here in week number 2. He's got a lot of work ahead of him as he was the champion in Oxford. Did not make the big show like we said earlier, so he needs to pick up a big win here tonight to gain some traction. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll talk to Tim a little bit later, but I'm wondering if they're going to allow one drop throughout this series.
Yeah, that's going to come in handy for a few drivers. And you may have to rely on it if you're someone like a Ryan Messer who did not make it through the heats coming up or qualifying. So he's going to have his hands full. So there you go. Ashton Tucker will be moving on to the 75-lap feature coming up tonight, along with Craig Tully and Daniel Vitch in the 29 car. Langille, Moorcroft, Williams, Kenny Hebb, Craswell, and Scrivens. They're going to have to try it in a hooligan race.
For all those at home, grab the popcorn. Little hooligan LCQ coming up. Tim just banged into the tower here, but disappeared suddenly. So hopefully he can get him back. But grab the popcorn. Some big hooligan LCQ. Some top contenders going to be vying to try to get into the main event here tonight. We've seen some upsets in week number 1, and it'll be interesting to see what transpires in front of us. But grab your popcorn. This is going to be a doozy.
Oh yeah, she's gonna be rocking here. So we're still showing the pace car and the cars going around here, but
I think that's why Tim jumped in there for a second.
Yeah, maybe. Hey, at this time though, it's great to mention that if you want to market your company, are we going green flag racing?
I think we're going green.
Okay, I don't think we're done here. Okay, scrap that. Scrap everything we said. Nothing's guaranteed yet. It's a one-lap shoot. Okay, we were told that it may end under caution, so fooled ya, just like pro wrestling. You never know what'll happen here. This is going to be crazy for Daniel Vitch in that 3rd position. He's got a whole hornet's nest of cars behind him, and nothing changes. It's Ashton Tucker, Craig Tully, and Daniel Vitch going to the show tonight.
This goes into TCM bloopers.
Yes, just a little bit.
Well, here's your finishing order. That is going to be Ashton Tucker, Craig Tully, and was it Daniel Vitch? Because my screen says Craswell. I think even the timing screen, everything's all screwed up here.
Yeah, well, you know what? That's
but
racing
either way,
sometimes. That's racing
LCQ
sometimes.
time. Get the popcorn. Get the beer. It's time. Take the gloves off. You could say this guy's name.
Oh, Guillaume Fortin going to be starting on the front row here. So wait a minute. We're only doing 3 races then. What is going on tonight? We were told there was going to be 4.
You didn't get the memo.
Well, I guess not. So again, I guess I apologize there. So, but Guillaume Fortin, no matter what, the top 3 were only moving on from the heats anyways. So Guillaume Fortin, Langille, and Taylor Layton are going to be starting in the the top 3 positions here for hooligan race number 1, pardon me. Derek Gates, Mark Williams, Dave Cassidy, John Fitzpatrick, Wade Craspel, Conrad Murphy, Martin Landry, Jake Scribbins, Cadence Frizzell starting 12th here. Paul, is there any chance we can bring up Tim here for just the second to ask him how many cars are moving on to the main event here?
Hey.
Hello.
How many cars, Mr. Official Man, are we taking from this?
We are taking 4 from this one, and you guys have Brett Suggs ready to go whenever you guys want to pull.
Perfect. Brett Suggs finished second last week. He's the current point leader, so we'll have to get him in. Well, he's in here now. He can be kind of like our guest color commentator. Brett, do you got a copy, my friend?
Yeah, I got you loud and clear.
All right. Well, you're kind of like the Clint Boyer or Joey Logano right now. You're the guest driver here in the announcer booth. We're chatting with you after your second place finish last week against Mike Alexander, but you're the point leader so far in this racing series. Last week came down to a close finish. It was a fun finish. Mike got you by about a bumper. How was round number 1 of this weekly racing series?
It was definitely a great race, and I was really surprised to hear on the broadcast that I was the point leader. I hadn't checked the points prior to tonight, so I was a little bit caught off guard seeing that we coming in with a 3-point lead, but definitely excited with a good qualifying run tonight to kick things off.
So are you watching the TCM stream? Are you seeing all this craziness right now with drivers shoving each other out of the way to try to get into the top 4 here?
Oh man, it's wicked, but these guys are definitely giving it all they got out front, trying to lock it in. I mean, it's a big deal making these shows with the level of competition. Surprised to see Fitzpatrick and Dave Cassidy in this LCQ. Those guys are both capable of winning just about any race. These guys are just going for all they can get here, trying to put it in the show.
I don't recall you being in too many LCQ races, Brett. Have you been in a few of them here in the TCM Racing Series? Any of the special events we've had?
I think there was a time or two, especially last season at Oxford. Whatever it was, I struggled a lot in qualifying and would always find myself in a heat race. There might have been one occasion where I had to run the LCQ, but typically by the time the race came around, we were usually driving away up through the field and getting into the top 5.
Guillaume Fortin, Josh Langille, Conrad Murphy, John Fitzpatrick, the top 4. Brett, I'm going to let you go here in a second, but what are you expecting for round number 2? How is the car shaking out in practice, and can you get another podium finish and maybe a win tonight?
I'm expecting a pretty good piece. You know, the RVR guys, we've put in a lot of time practicing, trying to find some more speed out of it. So I think we've got a good car. We just need to be there for the long run, 75 laps, 25 laps shorter than last week, but we had a good car, you know, the entire race last time. So I think we're going to have something a little bit better for tonight. Looking to bring home a top 3, maybe even a win.
All right, buddy. We'll let you get settled in here. You can watch the madness before you go, and looking forward to seeing you race here tonight, Brett.
I appreciate it.
That's Brett Suggs, one of the lone Americans in the 33 car. He's already made the feature tonight, qualifying in here. And again, he's the point leader. He had a better starting position than Mike Alexander, and we count points with qualifying. So that's going to make him have a good night, hopefully, here on round number 2. Also with the Triple Crown races. So we're watching this battle with John Fitzpatrick and Dave Cassidy. That is for 4th right now. Guillaume Fortin, Conrad Murphy, Josh Langille, the top 3. But again, top 4, Mike, are moving on. And the 78's in the hot seat. And here comes Cassidy looking on the inside.
Yeah, I think this is going to be one of the wildest races of the night. Like Brett said, Cassidy and Fitzpatrick could win any night in these TCM events, and they found themselves in the LCQ, unfortunately. And look at this, Cassidy is on the outside looking in. I would not want to be Josh Langille and Conrad Murphy, as those boys are going to be working to try to come up through. But while you were interviewing Brett Suggs, I was biting at the bit because it got wild there in the first couple of laps. There's a lot of contact there as the drivers tried to come up through the back of the field. A lot of spankage with the walls and some contact, but we've managed to stay under green for 11 laps as we take a peek right here at the 78 and 13, and maybe Paul can get us inside that 13 machine and see this battle unfold as Cassidy is full on right now on Fitzpatrick and the 78.
Yeah, this is a pretty cool view, and big thanks again to Paul for everything he does with the replays and these cool views. And you can see the heat is turning on the kettle here, boys and girls, watching this evening on Tim's Corner and Vidane TV. Dave Cassidy trying to make the feature tonight. He doesn't want to race too dirty, though, because, again, the incident points will build up if you drive a little too rough, if you like using the bumper a little too much. And there are some extra awards, clean hands awards for driving nice and clean. But, hey, push comes to shove. If you want to try and make the main event tonight, you may have to do a little pushing and shoving.
Yeah, for those out there that think iRacing is like Pac-Man, I'm telling you, you just watch the inside of Cassidy's machines as he gives the bumper to the 78, but what a save! Fitzpatrick manages to hang on, but he's real loose right to the 13, now takes over that 4th spot. And this is what I was talking about, Dylan. This LCQ is going to get wild because we still got 10 laps to go.
Oh, brother, if I'm Dave Cassidy, I'm expecting a receipt from John Fitzpatrick. That's a wrestling term where if someone throws a little stiffness at you, you give it right back. So, but hey, that's racing, though. If you give it, you got to be able to take it.
Well, you know, there's a huge gap right now. Guillaume Fortin has got a 2.7 second gap over Conrad Murphy, 3.6 over Josh Langille. As he checks out, he's looking pretty sharp here for the show, but if a caution comes up, they're going to restack him here. But a lot of separation here, and Fitzpatrick is the one on the outside looking in, and Cassidy still starting to build a bit of a gap right now, some real estate on that 78, but the 78 not giving up. Got real loose with that contact, but he is hard charging, throwing it in there as we see. But keep an eye on that 67. Wade Craswell coming on hot as well.
Guillaume Fortin did not have a great heat race towards the end, but they're charging away from the field. They've got a lot of distance in front of Conrad Murphy, almost a 3.5 second lead as he kind of kisses the wall there. Guillaume, settle down here, brother. You're almost making the feature tonight in the LCQ, coming up to 5 laps to go near the beat and battered Jake Scrivens. Murphy and Langille are 2 and 3, but again, the battle is for 4th. It was Dave Cassidy giving a little boot scoot to the 78 of John Fitzpatrick, and Fitzpatrick is starting to reel in the 13 with about 5 laps to go.
Well, it's been between 4/10 and 6/10 of a second, but Fitzpatrick kind of over driving the 78 right now as he throws it in there, trying to really gain some traction here. But as this continues on with 5 laps to go here, he's getting very tight to that wall, looking for every ounce of property here at Nashville to try to close that gap. And right now, he's got it within 0.5 of a second. But I got a funny feeling that the 78, if he does get close, there could be some exchanging of paint.
And I don't know Johnny to be that rough of a driver, but man, Dave
I didn't
Cassidy.
say wreck.
I'm not saying wreck either, but I don't even know Johnny to be that rough of a racer in general, giving boots and scoots. And he's a driver where he usually kind of slithers his way through the field nice and clean, but he's really got to try and find some horsepower here. Only 2 laps to go. There is a slower car in front of Dave Cassidy, but I don't know if that's going to be enough for the 78 to catch up.
Well, that time clock is on right now with 2 laps to go as our leader, Guillaume Fortin, and the 13 is on a mission here for lap times. He showed some really big laps in his heat race, but then fell off the ladder and finished in 4th position, hence why he was at top of the board. But white silk right now for the 13 of Guillaume Fortin, throwing down some monster lap times here in the LCQs. He's going to be one to watch once we get to the main event, but he's going to grab checkers here in the first LCQ, 25 laps completed. But look at that, Conrad Murphy, Josh Langille, Dave Cassidy making the show, John Fitzpatrick, the 78 from Prince Edward Island, not going to make a big upset. This is week number 2, and like we talked about early in this broadcast, there was going to be some upsets, and that is one big one right there.
Hey, but push came to shove, and Dave Cassidy, well, they pushed, they shoved. Unfortunately for the 78, he wasn't able to catch back up in time. But that means that Cassidy moves on to the 75-lap main event.
Well, the great thing about the virtual world, you don't see wrenches flying through the pits, but we're going to get...
Baby.
Oh, baby.
There could be some angry crew members virtually.
Yeah, well, we're getting set for our second LCQ, last chance for romance, hooligan race, whatever you want to call it. Grab the popcorn, grab the beer. It's going to be a Super Bowl matchup as there's some big dogs in this one. And my good buddy Ryan Messer, Chantel Pottles in this one. But it's going to be a wild one, just like what we just seen. But we're getting set to go here, and sitting on the pole in row number 1, the 9 of Campbell Delaney. We'll have the 61 of Ricky Arbeau to the outside.
Cody Moorcroft in the 80 car, starting third. Ryan Messer, another driver I'm kind of surprised to see here. They're going to be starting fourth. John Byron, Craig Kenny, Scott Alexander, Chantel Pottle, Aaron Hebb, Trevor Smith, Tony Wright, Caden Tufts, rounding out this very last chance to try and make the 75-lap race this evening. Round number 2 of the TCM Weekly iRacing Series Season 2 at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. We've already got 8 drivers locked in. If you're wondering, hey, where's Mike Alexander? Where's Richard Drake? Well, Dustin Mumbercat got the pole tonight. Richard Drake starting outside pole. Brett Suggs, Mike Alexander, Brandon Campbell, Mike Rhino, Jason Goss, Brad Hayes. They've already made the show. They're watching on Vidane TV. Getting ready for 75 laps coming up. We've got a third of a distance race here. 25 laps there, Mike, if I can even get out of my mouth cleanly here. Last chance for 4 drivers to try and make the show.
Well, those top 8 are up in the stands with the 15,000 capacity here, sold out here in Nashville for the TCM Live. Triple Crown, race number 1. This is your final LCQ. Top 4 coming. We are green, and Campbell Delaney gets it going. Ricky Arbeau, but I can tell you, Ryan Messer's going to want to come up fast, as you do not want to be anywhere in the mid of this race, because I got a feeling it's going to get a little dirty. There's a scrub. Ricky Arbeau gives a little bit of an exchange, but we got the 05. That is Chantel Pottle to the back of the field, and they're going to throw the caution here in lap number 1, Dylan.
Yeah, there could have been a couple of wrecks there. Campbell Delaney crooked as a question mark coming out of turn number 1, but we had a little wreck on the back going into turn number 1 and 2. Paul, what happened?
Big bada boom. Taking a look here at the Vidane.shop instant replay, and going to take a peek at it from the blimp, because like you said, Dylan, there was a couple of wrecks that happened. We're going to focus in. There you can see the 55 kind of gives the 60 a little bit of a flapjack shot, and Pottles looks like she got off the throttle just a little bit to try and avoid it, and got ran over from the back there. So that's never a good move. You can see it one more time here, and we're actually going to change the camera angle up just a little bit, and there you can see Tufts gets a little piece of the action as well. Crinkles in the front of that nose. That's it's actually a hard hit for both the 05 and the 44, and there you can see the damage on the right front of the Yosemite Sam machine there, the number 44. But tough break. It's going to be hard to get these cars up towards the front in less than 20 laps to go here in the last chance qualifier.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Paul Lee, Campbell Delaney, Ricky Arbeau, Ryan Messer, the top 3. But again, the top 4 from this race move on, and that's Cody Moorcroft in P4 at the moment. If you want to get your brand on any of these TCM races, you can hit up Tim Terry. We have marketing opportunities available, including that Triple Crown set feature we have, and tonight is night number 1. So hit him up, TCM, Tim's Corner, Motorsports, Tim Terry. He will get in touch with you if you get in touch with him, and we'll chat a little marketing opportunities to promote your brand with virtual racing, which, hey, you know what? We've got our friends at Vidane TV, and we get a lot of eyeballs on this, and we have a lot of fun too. And I want to thank everyone who's watching tonight on a little Wednesday. Mike, if it didn't really rain today, we could probably race at a racetrack here in Nova Scotia. The snow is melting away.
Well, the groundhog said that we're going to be starting early, but generally May 24th weekend, Victoria Day weekend here in Canada is when racing season officially starts. But you guys up in Nova Scotia already get it going with the Winter Classic. That was a lot of fun, and but you talked about marketing opportunities with Tim's Corner. I mean, this guy's got a huge footprint here in Atlantic Canada and as well throughout the United States and Canada. As Tim's, he's all over the place. So if you're looking for those opportunities, I can tell you this guy is the one to be looking at some of these big events. And once he gets into the season, TCM's Corner is the spot to be. But we're set to go back green, and it'll be Ricky Arbeau and Campbell Delaney. But keep an eye on Messer, as he's going to want to make a move here. Tries to get to the bottom here on Delaney, but Delaney throws a block here, and side by side they go. But they're wrecking behind, as this is, like I said, it's going to be a wild one, and several cautions here again. But that's going to bring in our good friend Showtime Paul Strickland, and he'll take us back in time. He'll look back to the future to see what transpired.
Having a rough go of it here in the number 44 here for Trevor Smith, involved in another little bit of an incident. We're backing up the old Vidane.shop instant replay. We'll give it to you in real time. And it looks like a couple of cars in front of the 44 just kind of trying to go for the same piece of real estate, and they get well, that just isn't physically possible in both real life and in simulation. There you see the 44, John Byron around in the 57. The 66 slows up. 44 gets into the back of him, and a car gets into the back of the 44, shoots him down to the inside wall there. Wasn't a big hit. A lot of that damage is from the last incident a few laps ago, but you can see there's some crinkled up race cars in the back of this pack here, boys.
Well, Chantel Pottle in the 5 machine did get through that mess, and now she's going to land in the 7th. For all you ladies out there tuning in tonight, give Chantel Pottle a shout out. She's trying to get into the big show tonight, representing all the ladies as we take a peek at her there. The 05 from Conception Bay North, Newfoundland, Labrador. She is an avid iRacer, and she has her own league, Dylan.
Does she really?
Yeah,
That's
she
neat.
races with some Xfinity guys down in the United States, and yeah, she's a big fan of Eastbound International Speedway. I'm hoping one day I'll see her in an actual real race car, but I think that's definitely going to be in her future.
Yeah, we're all getting antsy to get back to the racetrack. I'm really toying with maybe going up to Sydney to check out. They're going to do another winter blast race, Mike. So Nova Scotia is going to get 2 winter races if everything goes well, COVID-wise, before the season really kicks off here. But, you know, I did my demolition enduro race in Miramichi back in the fall. It'd be kind of fun doing another race in Sydney, but...
I think you should pick a charity like the Ronald McDonald House and raise some money for the community and get back in that saddle, Dylan. I'd be the first one to line up to help you with the build, but maybe get an old van, a caravan or something, and give us some bickies up in Sydney.
Oh, I think I'd have to go with like a Honda. I drive a Honda for my own car, but hey, the Pontiac Montana wasn't too shabby at Speedway Miramichi, but I think they're going to be announcing that shortly, so for any Sydney Speedway fans, yeah, there's probably going to be another winter race coming up soon, so it's exciting. We're racing on some snow, but we're back at the virtual asphalt at the Nashville Fairgrounds, and Ricky Arbo gets the hammer and jumps in front of Campbell Delaney and Ryan Messer. And Cody Moorcroft in the number 80, he's in 4th. And again, that is the final transfer spot. Ooh, I don't know if Ricky just disappeared completely off the screen, kind of flickered a little bit. I know there's been some internet woes for the announcers here, and I guess there's been some internet woes for the drivers here too.
Well, Ricky Arbo is now disconnected. What an upset, as now he's disconnected from the server, so he'll give up that P1.
Oh, he's back.
Campbell...
He's back.
He is back. Man.
He's like a ghost. He's like a ghost. He kind of comes and goes here.
Well, the good thing is he does have a bit of real estate. He's got a 9/10, almost a full second right now on Ryan Messer and Campbell Delaney. So as he gets adjusted with that internet ping issue, but he seems to be doing okay now. Still in P1, but it did show up on my screen as checked out. But good to see as Ricky Arbo running a good show here in the LCQ with 14 laps completed. Ryan Messer, your position number 2. Delaney under fire from Cody Moorcroft, but the one to be watching here with 10 to go just shortly here is going to be Tony Wright trying to get into that top 4. Cody Moorcroft is going to be protecting that P4.
A lot of damage on the 09 car, right? I mean, what car doesn't have a little damage? Oh, brother, that was a hard hit for one of the cars back there coming out of turn 2. That's kind of like the wall at Champions at Circuit Gilles Villeneuve in Montreal, where the wall just kind of shows up and there's nowhere for you to go, really.
Well, some banged up cars. The 44 of Trevor Smith, after being in a couple of incidents early in this race, carrying a lot of damage. So car not operational as it should be. So spanking off the walls back there, and but we are still under green with 17 gone, 8 to go here. It's all Ricky Arbo, but Ryan Messer has closed that gap to 5/10. He's picked up a half a second here. We could get a hard charge of Ryan Messer here, but Tony Wright, the 09, still in that position number 5, but big gap right now, almost a second and a half in the difference between himself and Cody Moorcroft.
Just dropping back a little bit is the 80 car, but they're all in line. They've got they're kind of social distancing here on the track, Mike. They're kind of keeping apart from each other, which is probably a good thing. You don't want the cars slamming into each other too much. So Moorcroft, Delaney, Messer, and Arbo just try and keep her straight and hang on to her for another 4 laps, and you're racing for the 75-lap main event tonight. Round number 2 of the TCM Weekly iRacing Series in Nashville Fairgrounds. These cars just boogie around this track, Mike.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of incidents in week number 1, and it was at the early sets of the races in lap corner of turn 1, and this is an 18-degree bank, 3-degree bank in the straights, but seems like once the grip gets down there, a little bit of tires heating up here. They seem to have a better showing here, but that's going to come into play once we get into the main event. 75 laps will be on the board. It'll be interesting what happens in the first couple of laps as they get going, but 5 to go here. Rick Herbeau, Ryan Messer, Campbell Delaney, Cody Moorcraft looking pretty tight here for the top 4, unless that caution comes out.
Once they get going, it seems like they really stay going here in Nashville Fairgrounds. Cautions breed cautions on the short runs, but again, once they get some distance, things seem to be calming pretty good, and we are going to be seeing some of the best in iRacing coming up here in mere moments with round number 2 for the TCM Weekly iRacing Series. Delaney starting to close in a little bit on Ryan Messer, but like I stressed, if I was the spotter, I'd say, okay, listen, you're in a spot to make the race. Don't push it too hard. The cars can get a little squirrely coming into the turns. Just take her easy like the Eagles, brother.
Yeah, and the field of cars that are competing in this series here in Nashville, there's some big names, and just making the main event is an accomplishment because, there's a lot of drivers sitting. But we got White Silk out for the 61, Rick Herbeau, that pretty much controlled most of this race. He's got a 6/10 a gap right now over Ryan Messer, but he's coming around for checkers, and he will take that top position. He's going to pick up some positions in the main event, but our top 4 is going to be Ricky Herbeau, Ryan Messer, Campbell Delaney, Cody Moorcraft. The rest of the field going to have a seat in the stands.
But they get hot dogs.
Hot dogs, pizza, 50-50.
So the drivers are going to warm up here before we get going. So 75 laps again. We're going to have the usual contingency awards where we're going to have fastest lap, the halfway award brought to you by Highway 311 North River Market. So we're thankful they're back on again. And a chance for some drivers to make a little extra scratch this evening, along with the Triple Crown. Just some extra fun for the drivers, a little extra incentive to finish in the top 3. And we're going to grid up here. There wasn't much of a warm-up for these drivers. We're going to fire off and get ready to introduce the lineup, the starting lineup for round number 2 of the TCM Weekly iRacing Series Triple Crown race number 1. Let's start off with our front row. On P1, Dustin Mumbercat in the 116, Rational Richard Drake in the 141 on his outside.
In row number 2 to 33, Brett Suggs of North Carolina. He'll have race winner number 1. That is Mike Alexander to the outside.
Brandon Campbell to 99. He's ready starting 5th. And Mike Rhino going to charge to the field starting 6th.
Row number 4, my boy from Torbay, Newfoundland, Labrador, the part of the DC Auto team. The 41 machine of Jason Goss. He'll have the 17th, your final qualifier position. Brad Hayes onto the outside.
Winner of heat race number 1 this evening, Tanton Woolridge. Winner of another heat race, Chris Roma in the 83.
And look at this, the 02, Ashton Tucker in row number 6. He'll have Travis Roma, the 38, to the outside.
Quickly going through the rest of the field, 25 cars starting tonight. Justin Robichaux, Craig Tully, Mac Daddy, Keith McClellan, Danny Chisholm, Daniel Vitch, Guillaume Fortin, Ricky Arbo, Conrad Murphy, Ryan Messer, Josh Langille, Campbell Delaney, Dave Cassidy, Cody Moorcroft, starting scratch, 25th in this field. 75 laps, going to be a fun race here, Mike. It's an open setup, so you can tweak whatever you want on here. Only one set of tires, the one that are on the car. Fuel should be good. It was maybe a little issue with 100 laps with 25 less. Let's see how it's going to go tonight. Green flag is out. Thanks for joining us here on Tim's Corner Motorsports and Vidane TV. We're at the Nashville Fairgrounds. Round 2 of the TCM Weekly iRacing Series kicks off with the 116 diving in front.
Well, this is a stacked field, and the gloves are off. 75 laps on the board. Momberquette controls this one. We've seen a couple of 3 wide there, some separation there in mid-pack. Some of the guys trying to make some positions on lap number 1, but everybody getting through that. Lap number 1, nice and clean. Momberquette controlling it with Brett Suggs, Richard Drake, Mike Alexander, and Brandon Campbell. Your top 5 as they single file around. But we have caution, and it looks like Ryan Messer's been involved with this. That's going to bring out the caution here on lap number 2 and bring in our good friend Paul Showtime Strickland Jr.
The one car just a little bit off the pace there. Ryan Messer getting around the pace car and going to collect the back end of the field. We're going to back up the old Verdane.shop instant replay. And, well, we got that coupon code that's up there that we got from our good friend. Coupons. We love those coupons. Tangley, Tangley. Get you 10% off over there at Verdane.shop. So get yourself a hat, a t-shirt, all that good stuff. We got it all. We got a lot of good stuff over there. A whole bunch of stickers and stuff too. Who doesn't like stickers? But we're gonna take a look here. Here's the one car. They can see there's one car down below that's got having some issues down in the pit wall. It looks like. Now you can see. It looks like the 29 checks up just a little bit. Arbo gets in the back with nowhere for the one car to go. Gets himself spun around and. He's right in the racing groove, but he does a pretty good job of not hitting anybody or anything else. And there you can see gets that thing pointed in the right direction. Oh, all right, in front of the leaders. That's probably right where the caution comes out. There's Barney waving that yellow flag like there's no tomorrow. Holy moly, close call for the leader, Momberquette there. But Ryan Messer does a good job keeping it in one piece. He's going to come around and join the tail end of the field.
They hit the stank barrels.
Just about.
Coupons. Get your coupons. Get your merch. I want to design a brand new set of merch with just one word on the front, and it says Tangley, boot scooting, and what's another word? Calamity.
We'll have them all for next week's show.
And F with a whole bunch of weird symbols. Mike messed up.
See, whenever the bars fully reopen after COVID-19, I would wear a Tangley shirt because I would say, "Guys, I'm getting Tangley."
Well, we could start a new trend. You know, this could be like the new Varney of the 2020s, right?
The what?
You don't remember the Varney shirts from France? Man, they were like expensive, and
like
everybody had to have
one.
one.
I'm sorry, I didn't grow up. I'm a youngin', I guess.
Yeah, I guess you don't remember the
shirt, tap out shirts, right?
You don't remember the Hyperglow shirts where girls used to have to blow on your shirt to change the color of the shirt?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing
that's
that.
Before your time.
Night at the Roxbury. I remember seeing that in that movie.
Well, we are getting set to go back. Green pace cars out. Momberquette's going to get it going here on lap number 6. As look at this, Jason Goss, a little sketchy back there. That should be a T-shirt. Sketchy. 141 and Mike Rhino side by side as well. A few scraping off that wall. We've seen a lot of that here in Nashville coming out of the corner. A lot of guys coming up really tight to that outside wall, and there's a lot of paint on that outside wall.
I wonder if at the real Nashville Fairgrounds, do they bother painting the wall at a turn 2? Because, man, the cars that scrape that thing, it's right down to the bare concrete pretty much. Lap number 8 now, lap number 9. Momberquette is still your leader. Brett Suggs, point leader, and Mike Alexander. And it almost looks like a restrictor plate race right now. My cars are flip-flopping and swip-swapping everywhere.
Well, right from the tail of this race, we got some big competitors. Like we talked about, a stacked field. You got Tully back there. Ashton Tucker in position number 22. Cassidy. The big Tully race here is in the middle. I think I just jinxed the 5 of Tully as he washes up the track. Opens the door as well for a couple of drivers coming through here. But I believe Ashton Tucker might have been involved with something there in lap number 1. It's he's now fighting to come back up, picks up a position, now lands himself behind Cassidy in position number 21.
Well, we saw last week with Richard Drake going down pit road numerous times, taking advantage of the cautions to repair the damage. There's no instant quick fix tonight with iRacing on TCM. It will take time to repair any damage that you got on that car. And with the fixed set or the open setups, pardon me, this is a time where you can do some practice all week and tweak whatever you want, but maybe it's not exactly working out for you. Once the race really kicks off, you'll have to sacrifice the track position to really figure out your car. And a guy who's really figured out his car, Mike Alexander, he is now on the prowl to catch up to Dustin Mumbercat.
Yeah, the only car that we've seen on pit road so far is Ashton Tucker, so he may have made some repairs there. As he took a 22-second stop on that caution, but he is a man on the move. He's still in that position, number 21, but there's a huge stack field right in front of him. Keith McClellan now in 15th position in the 30 Bud Light machine. Danny Chisholm, a man on the move right now in 12th position. Travis Roma, Chris Roma, tag team, a little shake and bake there in 10th and 11th, but a lot of activity there between position number 4 and 10th as they go side by side. I believe that's Jason Goss and Rational Richard there.
Yeah, you got that right. So impressive run so far for the number 41, and actually that may have been Brett Suggs actually. Rational Richard. Rational's doing a great job holding off Brett Suggs, though, in that 33. Brett is a top contender on iRacing no matter where he goes. Caution out on the track. That's going to bunch things up here. But Richard, though, is really showing his stripes here in iRacing. He does a fantastic job whenever he's able to keep the car clean. Unfortunately, he was taken out in a wreck where he had no control of what was happening last time. So hoping for a good finish for the old 141 car.
Let's go to bring in our good friend Paul Showtime Strickland Jr. Have you found it?
I have found it. It looks like Travis Roma getting himself in a little bit of trouble here. Looks like he may possibly have had just a little bit of help. Looking for a little bit of help from his friends here. The number 38, we're going to give it to you here in real time. You can see there's the 38, kind of shoots up high, slaps the wall, and he actually gives a little bit of assistance there. Almost a simultaneous spin between the 38 and the 89 of Conrad Murphy, and there you can see he spins around and points it in the right direction, and he's gonna make sure that the sound of his own wheels don't make him crazy.
I don't know who that was locking him up, but it was almost like a Canadian curling match. Hurry, har! On the brakes.
Is that the
you watching the Scotties?
I don't know. Make it a T-shirt.
Competitive sweeping live on Vidane TV.
Hard.
Hard into the wall.
Hey,
Well,
hey
Ryan
man,
Messer-
the Scotties, the Scotties are on right now.
That's the ladies.
That's right.
Travis Roma, Conrad Murphy, and Ryan Messer on pit road. So, Dylan, you're into ladies throwing rocks, eh?
Well, curling's fun. Funny enough, though, with we're talking with COVID-19 and what that has wiped out, curling in Canada has taken a huge hit. This is like the first tournament they've had in a year's time for the national stage with all the provinces competing. So I know there might be a few curling fans here this evening. It's pretty exciting to see just more sports in general return.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully with the vaccine rollout, we'll be back somewhat normal in the next couple of months, but I think we still got a long road ahead of us. But it's great to see some of the sports. NHL, this Canadian bubble in the NHL has been pretty cool to see, and seeing a lot of Montreal-Toronto matchups and seeing the Canadian teams compete. So
Toronto has been kicking butt this season.
No trouble to tell you where your allegiance falls. Just by the sound of your voice. But, unfortunately, they will not be facing my Boston Bruins just yet. But hopefully we'll see them later in the playoffs. But we are still under caution here. Lights are going to be coming off that pace car truck as he exits here now on lap number 21. It's going to be Mike Alexander, Dustin Mumbercat on row number 1, Brett Suggs, Rational Richard Drake. And Mumbercat gets it going a little bit earlier. No one's going to go dominoes here as he gets it going early here, but a little scrapage off that wall. May have lost a little bit of momentum. Now to 75, having sights right now on the 16th.
We're outside like the Bruins were at Lake Tahoe on the weekend, but there's no chance of the ice melting thanks to the sun. We're on the asphalt. We want things to heat up a little bit. And that battle for third is still blazing hot with a 141 blocking the 33 of Brett Suggs. Mike Alexander laying back a bit. Mike was telling us when he won last week that he thought he was starting to run out of gas with a 100-lap race, so he'll have to really try and manage that. I don't think that any cars will be running out of fuel, but I guess it depends on how long of a green flag run we have. We've already had a handful of cautions so far. Kind of the same thing last week as well, Mike. We had a lot of cautions at the front end of the race. By the end, we were green flag racing for almost half the race.
Yeah, this is a little bit different than Oxford. It's 0.6 of a mile, high bank, 18 degrees. Not a lot of banking in Oxford, so pit strategy a little bit different. But I believe 75 laps. I think these guys can go the full distance, as we've been here quite often here in Nashville. So, but I don't foresee our leaders taking that plunge just yet. So. But take a peek here now at the 34, Mike Rhino. 10 Woolridge has now made up to P6. He's on full attack right now, but we haven't talked about the 99 machine of Brandon Campbell. He's doing wonderful now in the top 7 position. And Chris Roma in the 9th position. Dylan Fortin in 10th, rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, Brandon Campbell does a lot of work at Speedway Miramichi. I believe he's doing some street stock racing this year. And I know if you're a street stock racer or a fan, you probably saw the announcement of the new Maritime Street Stock Racing Series at 5 different racetracks in the Maritimes: Petty, Speedway 660, Speedway Miramichi, Shediac Center for Speed, and Oyster Bed. Man, that is huge for so many racers here in the Maritimes. It's great to see a lot of positivity and a lot of great news going into the season. And we've got lots of great iRacing before we get to the real racing here. Still plenty left to go with this series. It should wrap up in April. Of course, we're going to have the TCM All-Star Showcase, where potentially another driver could book their ticket to make that giant race coming up. And I believe we already had Mumbercat. Yes, Dustin Mumbercat's already qualified, Mike. So looking through the field right now, I think Richard Drake is one of those drivers. No, he's also qualified. So there's a few drivers that have already made the qualification for the TCM All-Star Showcase, which will be coming up on April 15th. And sponsorship opportunities are available for that race. There could be a driver tonight, you never know, who could book their ticket there.
Well, we're getting close to the halfway mark, lap 32, 4 to go here to the cross flags. But Dylan Fortin, full attack on that Chris Roma there. That was heating up pretty good back there as the 13 machine of Dylan Fortin trying to make a move. He was hot in the LCQ. Looked really good in this heat race, but he's got a great setup in that 13 machine tonight. We'll see what he has for us. Plenty of time, but caution has come out here on lap number 33, which is going to bring in our good friend, Paul Showtime Strickland Jr., to take us back to figure it out.
Yeah, we'll pull through the Shop instant replay, see if we can run through the tapes, find out who's going the wrong way on a one-way street here. It looks like the 29 may have been off the pace, and he was off the pace because he was avoiding the Chris Roma machine. The 83 looks like he made some contact here with the 99 of, I believe that's Brandon Campbell. We'll see if we can pull this up, and boom, just like that, confetti all over the place. There's the 83 of Chris Roma, and you can see he gets a little bit of a shot there. Brandon Campbell gets a shot from the 41 of Massey, and the 83 had nowhere to go, had to kind of scrape on by there, put a great big old dent along down the side, the left-hand side of that 83 car, but gets it going again. Doesn't look like, well, there is some damage on that left front side, kind of crinkled in just a little bit, but the 99 doesn't seem too damaged either. But back here in, looks like 20th and 22nd place here, we're just about halfway, so going to be a tall order for these guys to try and make it way up towards the front.
Well, Ricky Herbeau, Travis Roma, Conrad Murphy taking advantage of this caution and heading down pit road. So trying to stay on the lead lap, but I believe they're going to make it just in time as they get out in front of that pace truck. Still on the lead lap, all 25 competitors.
with this halfway award, thanks to Highway 311 North River Market again. Dustin Mumbercat will grab that contingency award. So congratulations to the driver of the 116 car. He has led every lap so far, so leading half the show, but can he lead the last portion? Probably the most important portion, you know?
Well, like
Especially
I said from
that
the
last
beginning,
lap.
stacked field. If you can make it through from start to finish, I can tell you, props to you, because he's going to have a lot of competition as we get closer to the finish here. Mike Alexander, Richard Drake, Brett Suggs, Mike Rhino, Tan Woolridge. I mean, the whole field. This is a stacked field here in Nashville. A lot of big competitors not even making it to the main. 41 competitors competing for the top 25. So a lot of people sitting back, eating some popcorn, drinking some beer, and a little sulking, not making it to the big race. But we are getting set back to go back green. The pace truck is out of the way. Mumbercat with the hammer. He's going to bring around 3 and 4 here. He shoots right away, no hesitation. But look at that, I believe that's Mike Rhino almost into the back of Richard Drake. And he's going to go up high, almost opening the door for the 41 of Jason Goss. But look at this, a lot of 2-wide race, and it's getting wild back there at the midpoint.
Swarming like bees, and you can see the 13 of Guillaume had hammer on the brake there, pardon me. Little contact between himself and the 87 of Danny Chisholm. And right now he's watching a battle between the 56 and Jason Goss, Tanton Woolridge on the outside, trying to get around one of the Newfoundland drivers here this evening. Speaking of going around, there's Brett Suggs going around Rational Richard Drake, and that is for third. Brett Suggs, your point leader coming into tonight's race, has grabbed P3. Now he's going to try and shake off the 141, and also Mike Rhino in the 34.
Well, the biggest battle right now is Jason Goss trying to fend off the 13 of Gillum, but also the 87 now. Danny Chisholm comes to the top side, and the 41 tries to push him up a little bit, but the 13 is going to come around. There goes Brad Hayes. Oh, calamity! That's a T-shirt.
Caution now is out. Oh, look at that junkyard of cars on the backstretch. Wow.
Paul?
Big junk.
Wreck.
Big wreck too, but big junk for sure.
Great Canadian band, by the way. Big Wreck, awesome.
Oh, new T-shirt, Paul. Wreck me.
Wrecked him. Dang near killed him. Take a look at take a look at the old Vidane Shop instant replay. We're gonna have so many T-shirts in that T-shirt table next week. It's gonna be astounding. There you see the 13 and the 18 getting together. Here you see everybody else getting into the other 13 and the 93. There's all sorts of calamity. These guys trying to get around each other, but I do want to back this up just a little bit.
Yeah, it started with the other. Started with the other 13 there, Paul. The 113.
Yeah, and there you can see the 17 of Brad Hayes was pointed in the wrong direction as well. And this is kind of where it all started. The second wreck back there.
Oh.
There you can see the 13. I can't tell if he got a little bit of help.
I think Brad maybe gave him a little bit of. I don't know if the 13 checked up there.
Overdrove it.
He may have.
He overdrove it.
This will be it here. It looks like he actually gets in the back of the 87, and that kind of drops the nose a little bit. Brings the tail end of the car around, shoots him down in the 17. These guys back here further back, they kind of check up a little bit, but the guys behind them couldn't quite see it.
Ryan Messer just missed that.
Yeah, and there you can see just a lot of dented up sheet metal here. There you see Brandon Campbell in it again. There's the 93. He's in it. Cassidy kind of sneaks by on the outside. He's got a bunch of damage on that car. But for the most part, everybody's going to be able to at least stay on the lead lap. And that's something to behold here. All 25 starters still on the lead lap here, working lap number 45. So we'll see what happens. Still quite a bit of time left to go here.
Ooh, let's talk about one driver. Ashton Tucker now finding himself in the 11th position on the outside of the top 10. A lot of big drivers now moving up through the field after that. Craig Tully finds himself in the 9th position. Keith McClellan in 10th. But I was talking about that battle. Danny Chisholm, Jason Goss, and the 13 of Gillum were really going at it there. And unfortunately for the 13 of Gillum, Fortin, kind of got into the back of the 7 and just upset the balance of that car. Kind of a little bit on the throttle probably coming out of the corner, sent him around. But we are going back green. green. Dustin Marquette with the hammer. He's going to get it going, and that's been his card all throughout this. Hammering right away, but look at it, 75. Suggs to the bottom. Suggs now making a move to the front as Marquette got two of them side by side, full attack. Which one do you block? I would stick to the bottom and try to upset the balance run here from the 33 of Brett Suggs.
Watch out for the Danny Chisholm train. He moved Tanton Woolridge up the track to move up another position. He is just outside the top 5. He's in 6th now. You can see Rational Richard trying to block off the 34 of Mike Rhino and charging through the field. Two young guns, Tanton Woolridge and Danny Chisholm, next to each other in 6th and 7th. There's Keith McClellan, Mr. Perfect, underneath the number 5 car of Tully. It's still Dustin Mumbercat in front of the field.
Ryan Messer hard charging up into the 11th position. Jason Goss in the 41, following back a couple of spots here. He's going to find himself in the 13th as he has some issues with the car. With those two young guns, Danny Chisholm, Tanton Woolridge, hard charging like you said. But man, what a move by Dustin Mumbercat to block that strong run from Mike Alexander and Brett Suggs. He kind of blocked both of the lanes and kind of upset the run there. But both of them hard charging side by side, and Mumbercat still maintaining the lead here as we hit the 2-car mark. But Woolridge is off the pace to the bottom, scrubbing off the wall. That's going to upset his run here as he falls to the back.
Yeah, darn shame for the young Bandolero driver from Prince Edward Island. He was having a great run near Danny Chisholm, but that means Danny Chisholm will get away from that car, and now he's going to try and catch up to Mike Rhino as we can watch a bit further back. There's the 56 now in front of the number 1 car. In fact, Danny's lost a little bit of ground. Along with the 141 and the 34, they have lost ground to the 33 of Brett Suggs. 3-car breakaway for the top 3. Mumbercat, Alexander, and Brett Suggs.
Alexander within an 1/8 of a second right now on the 16 of Dustin Mumbercat, giving a good pressure on the back here, but Suggs kind of sitting back there, kind of taking it all in. He's a crafty driver, not one to throw the bumper, but I got a funny feeling Suggs is going to watch this play out and see him use up a lot of those cars and then wait for the perfect time to get through. But we got some lap traffic coming up, but that's going to bring up caution on lap number 54. I believe that's Chris Roman, the 83.
Yep.
But we're going to see the full picture here from our friend Paul Showtime Strickland Jr. Bring it in, buddy.
Some new damage there on the number 83 of Chris Roma. Looks like he gets caught up once again, running with Cam Delaney and number 9. There you can see them side by side, and Roma goes down. He kind of clips the apron just a little bit, comes back up the track, and actually you see the 9 car lose the back end of the car, and well, he's able to save himself on the 83 because St. Tyler's turned better than 2. But unfortunately, Chris Roma caught up in that, gets shot down to the inside wall, and you can see gets it pointed in the right directions, but right in the racing groove of the leaders. So caution comes out. Lap 55, 20 to go here in the 75-lap feature.
It's going to be a doozy.
Gonna be a barn burner, as they say.
Barn burner. Who you get your money on?
Oh, brother, I don't know. You know what? I feel like Brett, we were chatting with him a little earlier, finishing 2nd last week. I think he's going to get it done tonight. I think he's going to pounce on an opportunity where maybe Mike Alexander gets side by side with Mumbercat, and that's exactly what he's going to want to see.
I'm going to go with the 16 of Dustin Mumbercat because he's been near perfect. And you remember that night that Keith McClellan was Mr. Perfect? This is his night. The 16, what a move he had. Start blocking the run on both runs with Suggs and Alexander. So it'll be interesting to see if he can go 1 to 75. Mr. Perfect tonight. Dustin Mumbercat's the man. Paul, who you got?
I'm going to go with the number 33 of Brett Suggs. He came home with the RBR Maritime Championship Season 3 last night after finishing 2nd to, I believe, Mike Alexander. Or no, Nick Noggle won that race last night, and Brett Suggs won the championship. So I'm going to go with that number 33.
I'm going to go with all of them.
I'm going to go with everybody else.
Everybody. So I'm not the ass in the room. No. But Rational Richard Drake is going to be in position as well. A lot of big competitors. Chisholm, who had come up from pretty much all the way to the back. He's thrown some big, strong runs here. Quickest car of the night here, quickest lap, I believe, is Mike Alexander.
He's always dangerous fast in these iRaces, and I think he knows exactly what he's doing. Really pacing himself. I love the old look of that 75. Just saw a photo from Atlantic Motorsports Park back in the day, and the great Benny Parsons was getting in that ride. Of course, Jim Hallahan was at the helm of a car just like that. We lost Jim in 2020, but a lot of drivers honoring the late Jim Hallahan, and let's go racing again here. Green flag is out.
Get her done, 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 done. 16 holding on, but look, the 75 kind of setting him up here, kind of washes him up the track just a little bit. But Suggs coming right on as they join the train. But look at Chisholm now getting the 141 to the outside and putting lots of pressure to the back bumper of Mike Rhino's 34. Chisholm trying to figure out which lane he wants to go as he half cars between the both of them. Looks to go to the bottom and pick up a big run here on Mike Rhino.
Up in front, Dustin Mummercat blocking like it's Daytona, trying to hold off a fast-charging Mike Alexander. You can see Mikey's all over the back of that number 116 car. Now we're looking at the leaders, Brett Suggs in the catbird seat. That's a place where you kind of want to be. If you can see the front two trying to get in front of each other, that could be a great chance for you to see if you can get underneath both of them and go on to the win. We're coming up to 13, 12 laps to go. Mike Rhino is a little further back. Mike Alexander, we're on board with him now. We're watching this battle, laying back a little bit. He was all over the bumper there. Mike Rhino is in fourth, but he's not close to this top three.
Well, 12 to go. Time is a ticking time bomb right now, and Suggs is kind of in a great position here in third. Earlier on, you've seen the 75 and the 16 working very hard for that lead, and Suggs kind of probably saved something here for the long stretch here. We haven't seen our leaders come down pit road. Our closest competitor that's been down pit road is Ashton Tucker, who is in the top 10. Our top 9 not reporting to pit road, so
caution.
They have the same tires since the beginning. 63 laps on those tires, but caution, like you said, is out here on lap 65, which is going to shave a few laps off here, almost a little bit of a shootout. Paul, take us back.
Well, we saw the shot there, the number 9 of Kevin Delaney on his roof, so we're going to start the tape right there, and it looks like he had a little bit of a slide on his roof, a big hit there. So we're going to take a quick peek, and we're going to do this one in slow motion, half speed, if you will. There you can see the number 9 up on top of Goss and the number 41. It looks like they made a little bit of contact. The 41 comes up in front of the 9 car. There you can see that flip. He gets put on his roof and almost half a straightaway upside down, sparks flying all over the racetrack. There you can see Ricky Arbo getting shot up into the wall there, the 80 getting spun around as well. But the big story is this 9 car ending up on his roof, and doesn't look like he's able to get it flipped back over in front of that Miss Kelly's karaoke sign there. So he's going to have to call for the tow truck, get himself put on pit road. Probably going to be done for the evening.
Karaoke, you're the star. I was at that bar, actually. I did not sing, Dylan. Dylan?
Yes, sir.
Hey, you're here. I thought you left me.
Yeah, I had left to go get a little extra drink of water here.
We started talking about karaoke and you leave me.
Yeah, well, that's when I leave. I hear bad karaoke singers. I don't need people talking about it.
Question for you, radio man. You do work
What's
for
up?
the country radio station. Have you been to Nashville? Besides tonight.
Have not, would love to. I was supposed to go to Vegas last year, but COVID kind of wiped that trip out. And, hopefully the next coming years would love to. You got the Nashville Preds, you've got the Titans, you've got Nashville Super Speedway hosting a race. Hopefully this track here, the Fairgrounds, gets a cup race in the next coming years. So that's definitely on the bucket list.
We should do a Verdane Las Vegas trip. And we should stop in New Orleans Bourbon and then stop in Nashville Broadway on the way back. But Hangover Part 4.
Oh, man. We got to get through this race first before we start planning anything like that. Big puff of smoke coming out of one of the cars. You check that out?
Yeah, some possible engine issues, but this is going to be a bit of a shootout here, Dylan, with probably 7 to go. Lights out on that pace truck.
Yeah, probably about that. Six or
to
seven.
go. Yeah, 69 a lap. So lights are out here now. We're going to go back racing here. That's going to bring us to 5 laps to go here as they come around. They'll pick up lap number 70 and 5 to go. Can Mombercat hold off a run from Mike Alexander? Now, Mombercat has showed his card throughout this whole race on the restarts. He does not hesitate. He fires right away. And knowing the 75, I got a feeling he's taking some notes and he's going to fire and try to give a good, strong run here on the restart. We are going back green, green, green. A little delay to the outside. Mombercat does throw right away, but that's going to open up the door for the 33 of Brett Suggs as he took full advantage of his notes. They go door to door to 75, 33, battling for P2.
Mike Alexander did not have a great start there. Brett Suggs trying to elbow his way to P2, and this is just giving more of an opportunity for the 16 to pull away.
Yeah, Mike Alexander finds himself to the outside. There is a second groove here, but obviously the event's bottom as Suggs kind of pinched him up a little bit. But look at this, the 34 partner in crime to the 75. Mike Rhino's on a run now and tag teams his partner, kind of give him a boot there, maybe give him some momentum. But now the 75 to the back bumper, tap, tap, tap to the back of the 33.
That's your top 2 in points there, Mike, and they're slamming into each other like it's Saturday Night Main Event with Hulk Hogan and Andre the Giant. Man, I don't know how.
Ooh, yeah.
Ooh, yeah. I don't know how he was able to hold off Brett Suggs, and this is just laying out a perfect opportunity for Dustin Mombercat to be absolutely perfect tonight in the first Triple Crown race for the TCM Weekly iRacing series. The top 2 in points are second and third. Mike Rhino is in fourth. Mombercat pulled away is in his own area code. Mike, bring us home.
Well, I can guarantee you the 34 is messaging the 75 to kind of line each other up to try to take away that P2, but Suggs is going to try to hold on as what out for the 16 machine. Dustin Mombercat, is he the Mr. Perfect here tonight? Lots of gappage, almost a full second advantage here. He's going to take it home. Checkers for the 16. Dustin Mombercat, the new Mr. Perfect. Followed by the 33 of Brett Suggs, Mike Alexander in the 75, Mike Rhino, Richard Drake, Danny Chisholm, Keith McClellan, Ryan Messer, Craig Tully, and Tanton Woolridge. Your top 10. Dude, what a run by the 16, Dustin Mombercat.
We may have to have a Mr. Perfect off between Keith McClellan and Dustin Mombercat. So we're going to quickly try and get our winners in top 3 if we're able to. I know Paul's got to move on to some other big iRacing things here shortly, so we're not going to try and mess around here. We'll definitely chat with our winner here, Dustin Mombercat. What a run from him, leading from top to bottom, from start to finish. What a run for Dustin Mombercat, Mike. And we're going to get pulled out for copyright. Thank you, Vince McMahon.
Had to throw it, bro.
I wonder if Dustin's going to do the old chewing gum, spit in the air and swat it out, or throw the towel behind his back and catch it deal.
Well, what a run, man. I did pick him, by the way, just so you guys know. $20 e-transfer to Mike James. But Dustin Mombercat, man, was just stellar. I got to say, the pivotal point for me for his run was when he blocked that run from Mike Rhino and Mike Alexander and Suggs.
Well, we've got a race winner here tonight, guys, for TCM Weekly iRacing Series Season 2. Triple Crown race number 1, Mr. Perfect, Dustin Mombercat. Dustin, do you got a copy?
Yeah, man, I got you.
Dustin, are you a wrestling fan? Do you know who Mr. Perfect is? No, well, you're him, though. It doesn't matter. You are him. You are perfect tonight. You led from the start. You got the pole. How did you hold off Brett Suggs and Mike Alexander in the final laps there?
I just kind of knew I had to get a good restart, and kind of felt as though if I could do that and kind of keep him back there for 3 or 4 laps, I'd be pretty good once the tire pressures came up and everything. Yeah, just had a really good car tonight.
Super impressive run. You already got a win with TCM on the dirt. Nothing like the dirt right here racing at the fairgrounds.
Yeah, it's a total different animal. Kind of like a dirt track. This place is really rough, and I just tried to do what I could to hold on.
So, who would you say right now is the stiffest competition on the track? Is it a Brett Suggs or Mike Alexander, or is there another driver your eye on?
I I definitely got my eye on those two. Also, always look out for Mike Rhino. He's always good in all these races that I've been in with him. So he's definitely one to watch as well.
Dustin, for any racing fans that are watching right now that may not be familiar with you, are you a racer? What's on the go with you in 2021?
Yeah, I run limited late models at Sunset Speedway and all over Ontario. So that kind of keeps me going in the summer. So yeah, it's just I try and just do this to keep up my practice with real life and try and improve on little things and hopefully get better in real life.
Neat stuff. Well, you got any real life sponsors you want to salute here while you're on the victory podium?
Yeah, I can't thank Shaw Motorsports enough. Dale Shaw, Jason Shaw, they have done so much for me, especially the past few years of my racing career. I really can't thank them enough. Wouldn't be where I am without them. Just want to thank Paul's Auto Body, Auto Trim Design of Barry, just everyone who hosts me. LeDuc Matthews Racing on the sim. I couldn't do it without Ryan Matthews and Devin Morgan, all the boys over at LeDuc Matthews. Can't thank them enough.
Thing two, Dustin, you also won the first Triple Crown race, which means a little extra money for you potentially. That's got to be pretty cool, right?
Yeah, I just don't try and focus on things like that. I just kind of show up to race, and I know if I just race to win and I can win the races, put myself in a really good position for a lot of things.
Right on, Dustin. Well, congratulations on winning race number 2, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, man. Thanks, you guys.
No problem. Dustin Mumbercat, race winner, Mr. Perfect tonight here at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Mike, do you want to chat with our second place finisher? We got quick time here, Brett Suggs.
Suggs, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Brah, you always find yourself in the top 3. I got to say, dude, you're a clean racer. Take us through tonight. You had a bit of a battle there for Mike Alexander, but you managed to squeeze by. You had a bit of a picture of this battle between Dustin and Mike Alexander throughout. Take us through the race.
Yeah, I was kind of just taking it easy. Dustin and Mike, they were quick up front, so I figured if I could save my tires for the end and get a late race caution like that, we'd have a good opportunity at it. But the setup was a little bit off tonight, actually. I felt a little bit tighter than I know last time we were 100 laps. This time we're 75, but got to work on the setup a little bit to have something for a little bit earlier in the race.
Week number 2, this is probably going to keep you on top of the board, a bit of cash in your pocket, but big, huge points here tonight. Take us through the competitors here in TCM. I mean, there's some pretty stacked field here. You know, you keep finding yourself in the top 3. A lot of practice you're putting throughout the weeks.
Yeah, definitely a lot of practice, and being that this is an open setup, the setup, I mean, just as much as the driver, the setup is super important, especially in Nashville. It's such an interesting track with the characteristics and how bumpy it is. But yeah, the competition's super stiff. Shout out Dustin for the win. I mean, he looked super, super clean and consistent out front there. But it was going to be a tough battle to get into second, but we made all the moves clean. I had a feeling we were going to get driven through a couple times. Felt like that might have been on the horizon, but luckily we drove it in deep enough where the bumper didn't hit us, even though there was a couple close times. But coming home P2, extend the points lead. We'll try to have another good run next week.
Congratulations from all of us at Vidane TV and TCM events. Anybody you want to thank to send it home?
Yeah, shout out everybody tunes into our weekly Facebook streams at Breastfig Racing Marketing LLC, as well as the Inner Life sponsors. We got the Custom Matco, Lake Norman Power Cleaning, Brett Suggs Racing Marketing. Also, the RBR guys, we've been putting in a lot of work trying to get faster as a team throughout. So shout out those guys, Cam for the lead, you guys for the broadcast, and everybody that puts in this deal, makes it go round.
Well, that's it. Brett Suggs, your P2 finish. I believe Paul's got another race already started. We got to get on a jet here shortly.
Paul, do we have enough time to chat with the third place finisher, or we got to wrap it up? Okay, all right. Mike Alexander, are you there, my friend?
Yeah, I got you, bud.
Okay, we got to make this short and sweet. You finished third tonight. You were up in front the entire time. Did you think you had enough to get around Dustin by the end there?
I was saving there early, and I was hoping that I was going to have more at the end, but again, just got way too tight in and through the center, and couldn't do anything with him. He was a little bit better, but I'll work on it, and we'll get it better next week. I got to give a shout out to Chris Ewing for getting me the setup.
Awesome stuff. Anyone else you want to thank tonight?
R&R Kinsman's Auto Salvage, CRF Chassis, McDonald Automotive, Celtic Air Services, Auto Value, Port City Race Cars. I think that's it. I don't think I'm forgetting anybody. Rev Racing.
Awesome stuff. Well, you're going to keep your top two in points, I guarantee. So you're looking good for next week, Mikey.
Yeah, we'll keep chipping away. We'll see if we can get this thing a little faster and see if we can get a couple more wins here.
Awesome stuff. That's Mike Alexander finishing third tonight. Thanks for hopping up here quickly. Tim Terry, you're up in here. Lot of fun. I know we're kind of running out of time here, but what do you think of round number 2 here tonight?
Yeah, there's some things we need to work on the race control side of things, but other than that, I think it was a pretty smooth race. The top 5, 7, 10-ish put on a phenomenal show. Congratulations to Dustin, Mike, and Brett, and those guys that were up front. Great show by them. Dustin's going to lead the Triple Crown points to try to get a little bit of extra money. If he can sweep all 3, he'll pick up an extra $100. So a little bit extra incentive on top of that. The gap unofficially is 6 between Brett Suggs and Mike Alexander after race 2, but there is a drop race in there. So what am I talking about for points? But that's going to do it for us here this evening. Thank you guys for joining us. Big doubleheader tomorrow night. GMP Auto Pro 75 for the eastbound race. Then following that, 75 laps for the TCM special events. It's at Phoenix Legacy. If you want to be a part of the TCM race, just shoot us a message at Tim's Corner Motorsports. If you're watching us on Vidane TV, quick little hop, and then the Fatheads Cup Series coming up from Darlington, the throwback race. You're going to want to see it. Until next time, until tomorrow.